our community members, both the protests and the community, female officers not feeling safe within the department. It is clear to many members of our community that Chief Skinner is not doing his job at keeping us safe, that he is leading a police department which has obvious internal problems, that Martin Siller spent 7 years at your department, and somehow we're supposed to be told that he never said a racist thing in those 7 years, that this wasn't a culture that he felt safe to say those things in, is absolutely ridiculous. Chief Skinner, you need to resign. The community would like to see you resign, because we need better leadership at EPD, and we need to see that EPD is thoroughly reviewed to make sure that this kind of disgusting thing never happens again. Our Black and brown members should feel safe in this city, and I hear from a lot of them that frankly do not. And considering Eugene's history of white supremacy, of the Klan, of being a sundown town, of the Black exclusion laws, of the cross burnings, of the Ferry Street Bridge, this should not be happening in 2026, and this community will not stand for it. Chief Skinner, resign. Thank you.
Thank you, Cameron. Next speaker.
Next speaker is in person. It's Mark Calicott.
Where do we speak?
And you can come up to the table.
Thank you.
The chair that's
right here.
Yep, perfect.
Hi, my name is Mark Calicott. I'm a resident here in Eugene, College Hill. This may surprise you, but we want you to succeed. Your job is important. We want you to do it well. And in this week, you have failed. It's okay, failure happens. Fix it. That this officer was on your force for 7 years, that looks terrible. That nobody in your office, anybody you've worked with, has flagged this behavior. This is a failure of oversight and training and hiring. And you know better. You know better. Do better. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Next speaker.
Next speaker is Harry Bousquet.
No, you're not even close.
Not even close.
Bosque. All right. So, how do I know what my time is? Just I can look at any monitor and tell.
It should be, yeah.
Okay, so we can start now. We good? Okay, my name is Harry Bosque. I've been back in Eugene for about 2 years. I personally was a Marine Corps veteran during the Vietnam era. My job was 5831, which is corrections. So I worked very closely with the police department in the military, and I was part of that department. So when I came and I heard about the riots, I decided that I was going to go down there and look, because I was just curious. I went down the night after, the evening after, and when I looked up, there was 2 men on the top of the roof. They were pointing rifles at me, and myself, what the hell? There weren't any protesters around. Obviously, I'm not a protester. I wasn't going to break any windows or shit like that. So, oh, sorry, golly. So I decided I was going to join the old man's group out on the corner of 7th and Pearl. So I've been sitting with them, and I have a sign that says "Stop the War, Stop Trump," and I just put it out there. So when you're out there, it is like a war zone. I mean, people are rough to us. I mean, we're old men. We're like, a couple of our guys can't even walk. We've had people come up behind us and start to come at us. We've had people in cars many, many times yelling obscenities and giving us the bird. It is a war zone out there. Well, anyways, I kept going out there. And I'm learning. Well, I only have a minute. I got to haul ass. Okay. I was out there the night they put the fence up, and the guy that got arrested, I talked to earlier in the day. I said, why do you cuss at everybody? And he goes, I'm from New Jersey. This is as calm as he could possibly be. Well, anyways, I don't know what he did. He hit a bus or something. I don't know what he did, but he got swarmed upon by the bicycle policeman. Then, within 30 seconds, 8 more police officers came rushing down in this truck, holding on to the outside. Within 30 seconds, huh?
20.
Oh, I got 26, 15. Well, anyways, I realized then that that was a setup. That had to be a setup. There's no way they could get from here or anywhere else without being prepared for it. So I know that the EPD was working with
Thank you for your time.
possible work.
Next speaker.
Our next speaker is Ellie Urbanchik, online. Ellie, you are unmuted.
Thank you. You hear me okay?
Speak up a little bit.
Hello?
We can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Hello, my name is Ellie Urbanchik. I'll be brief since I'm sure you'll be hearing from a lot of people tonight. The Eugene Police Department and Chief Skinner's responses to the recently released body camera footage frame this incident as an isolated occurrence, denying any culpability for allowing this culture to perpetuate. And it should not surprise any of us that the same officer was later revealed to vocally support ICE operations. The Eugene Police Department's continuous, enthusiastic support for immigration enforcement activity in our city is directly connected to the systemic racism issues EPD claims to oppose. I would like to call on Chief Skinner to resign from his position. Thank you.
Thank you, Ellie. Next speaker.
Next speaker will be online, Kevin. One moment. Kevin, you are unmuted. Oops. Nope.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello?
we can hear you.
Hi. My name is Kevin. I'm really concerned with Chief Skinner's response, particularly that he didn't name the violence against women and the domestic violence in his remarks. He just referred to that as vulgar language. And we know that there is a pattern of that in EPD. Under his tenure, there's been sustained workplace, toxic workplace environment complaints against supervisors every single year. And I'm just tired of waiting. Like, I want change. I want better policing, and it's time to move on. So I'm calling on Chief Skinner to resign. I'm also concerned about body cameras. There have been multiple sustained misconduct complaints about body cam usage. Muting yourself when you walk away is untrustworthy in the eyes of the public. Unmuting yourself when you're a supervisor while you're reviewing misconduct or use of force complaints is shady. And I hope that when you consider those types of policies tonight, that you will take seriously like the severity of the trust that is lost when shady stuff happens with body cameras. So thanks for your work. And I guess the last thing I want to ask is, if you are going into setting up for a traffic trap, would you consider that like a code 1 level of like obeying traffic laws? Thanks so much.
Thank you, Kevin. Next speaker.
The next speaker will be Jetty Eddy.
Thanks for hanging with us. We're still figuring out the timer thing. Thank you, Clary, for handling.
Jetty Eddy, you are unmuted.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. I guess here's the thing. I don't even know where to start here. Like, I'm just still like appalled, and also kind of glad that this footage came out, because we finally have something to prove that like EPD is as corrupt as some of us are out yelling about all of the time, right? I want to know why we were told over and over January 30th that there were no resources to help redirect traffic while the federal government was gassing and pushing people into the 7th Street. Cars were driving, and SRT was just throwing gas into the streets and gassing civilians. People in businesses all around that area were being gassed. The Holt Center was being gassed, and we kept getting told there are no resources to help with this problem. It was like, you guys brought in SWAT, you brought in Springfield SWAT, you brought in all this stuff, and you do this all the time. EPD does this all the time around the federal building for crazy things. And you guys have resources for that, but you didn't have resources to help make sure people didn't get hit by cars that night. And it's really interesting because that's how we obtained this footage. Because you guys criminalized people for trying to do your job. And it's just like, wow, dang, karma really got you guys. I bet you're feeling really horrible, Chief Skinner. And the people are asking for you to quit, for you to be fired. We do not want you to get your money that you get. I lost the word, whatever it's called. We want you to be fired. You've got to go. We want the people to be able to have an input and a voice with the training that police in our city have. We pay you guys to serve and protect us, and you clearly don't do it. So that's really all I've got to say. Shame on you. Hope we can do better. Please don't give us the same BS that you always give us whenever you guys fail and mess up. Okay, thanks. That's all.
Thank you, Jetty. Do we have anyone else for public comment?
No, that was all.
Okay. Thank you all.
Actually, I wanted to speak, but I didn't get a chance to sign up.
Sure. It's just a sec. Let's reset the clock for you real quick.
Was Skinner actually in the room?
Right here.
Awesome. I would like to speak directly to you then when I say you are supposed to represent the people. We have sanctuary laws for a reason. You do not get to go above my right to be safe. You are not the law. You do not make the law. And every single one of you sitting here who doesn't even dare to look at the people who are speaking to you, you represent me. I have been a resident of Oregon for 20 years, and I will be damned if I do not feel welcome here. Do you understand me? That's not rhetorical. I'm asking you.
Yes, ma'am.
I will die before you motherfuckers don't listen to me. Do you understand?
Language, please.
That's not a fighting word. Thank you. I know the law. I'm studying criminal justice. I'm a journalism student, and I actually have evidence and proof of you guys using not HC gas, but CS gas, which is not utilized for public use. That's not authorized for public use. You do not get to infringe on my right to protest. You do not get to infringe on my right to be safe in my city, in my state. I was born here. You represent me. Every single one of you in this room, look at me when I say you represent me. None of you are the law. And yet I don't see one brown person in this fucking room. I don't see one. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so you're sure as hell white passing. Thank you. I see one.
Language, please.
One brown person in this room representing me. None of you represent me. You represent the bourgeoisie. You sure as hell don't represent the working class. And guess what? If you won't, I will. I have and I will since the day that I was even aware about politics. I'm studying criminal justice out of spite for every single one of you and who has the audacity to eat, to laugh, to joke. How dare you? How dare you? It's not rhetorical. I am asking you, how dare you? I am the future. I am the children you are supposed to be protecting. How dare you? No one has anything to say? Big surprise. You all ask the children, you all expect children to create this better world, and yet where is that better world when I need it? Where is that better world when budget cuts are being made to our schools here in Eugene that I'm advocating for? Not any of you. I started the petition, not any of you. None of you. I do that. I represent the people. I am humiliated by the actions of this police department. I am humiliated, I am disgusted, and I am distraught. You represent me. You represent the working class, something you have never done. And if you won't, I will. And guess what? I'll win. And guess what? I'll be better at it. Watch me. Shame!
Do we have anybody else for public comment this evening?
There is one that just raised their hand.
One more?
Do we have time?
We have 4 minutes, so we can get one more in.
I hope you didn't think that was funny. I didn't think it was funny. So have a good laugh. And that's what police departments do, by the way. I was in the military, I know.
Manuel, I'm going to unmute you.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. I'm here to comment about what folks kind of already are speaking to. You know, I had a real busy day. I work quite a bit. I don't really take a lot of time to participate in your meetings because just the few amount of times that I've been a part of them, I've seen how little like actual responses we're getting from people. So it's not encouraging. You still have your meetings at the police department, which is not a welcoming place, might I say that. So, you know, at this point, I just don't think that there's any sort of body that can hold the Eugene police accountable. And Chris is definitely not going to be the person who does that. So, yeah, get out of our city, Chris. Like, please don't, you know, like, try to get behind the city council and or manager and or mayor who are also pretty apathetic to this issue. At this point asking you to please resign if you have any shred of dignity. This is not an issue that people should be having to just kind of beat the horse around. And yeah, you're clearly not the leadership that we need here. You know, I know tons of people who could do a better job at community safety. If that's even what you kind of, you know, see as your job. If your job is community safety, then you are failing. And so is the police department. And, you know, for that matter, the mayor too. She's pretty apathetic when it comes to these matters. And yeah, it's just such a performative sort of deal that I don't even know if you all know, you know, how you play a role in democracy. It's sad. I don't think that this needs to be said 1,000 times like it's been said. And I don't think that you're doing your job with honor. So it's just really, really
30 seconds.
disheartening. It's not great to be a part of your city, but you know, you're not gonna kick me out of it either. So please get the fuck out and don't, yeah, like try to apologize or, you know, maybe pretend that you're mad at them.
All right, that concludes our public comment for the evening. We will be moving to our next agenda item. Approve the April 9th, 2026 minutes. Do we have any concerns with the April 2026 minutes?
Move to approve the minutes.
Second.
Thank you.
Where's our minute taker tonight?
She is on Zoom?
She's on Zoom.
Yes.
All right, okay. Any discussion? Let's move to a vote. All those in favor to approve the April 9th minutes as they currently are, please raise your hand or say aye. All right, all in favor, unanimously passed, approve April 9th minutes. Thank you so much. Our next agenda item are gonna be liaison reports, and Commissioner Neal, hello.
Hi. We had a civilian review board meeting on Tuesday of this week. We had a training on body worn video, but I think we're gonna have some discussion about that today, so I won't go through what we were trained on. But it was useful in the use of force allegation that we also reviewed, which was not a high level use of force situation, but it was something that there was disagreement on in terms of the outcomes of the investigation for it, where the chief disagreed with the auditor in terms of the outcome, and so that was the majority of our discussion about how we look at those issues as a community. Yeah, and I can't probably say tons about it. But you remember that? Yeah. So so that was the majority of the discussion, and we talked a lot about that. So if you want to review the minutes for that or watch that video, it's available online. I will say, you know, it's a low level, well, it's a use of force that probably didn't make the news at all, but it was still investigated very thoroughly. So we had lots of evidence, lots of interviews, lots of body worn video to review, and lots of opinions from various professionals in the police department, as well as in the auditor's office that looked at this case. So as a board, we felt like it was very well investigated and had lots of discussion of the outcomes.
Thank you, Commissioner Neal. Let's see here.
Oh, sorry, I'll mention two things. One is that we have a new chair, Elise Josephson, of the Civilian Review Boards, who will begin as chair in July, and then I was re-elected as a liaison to this body, so I'll serve on as another year.
Congratulations.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
All right, our vice chair is out this evening, so Human Rights Commission we will skip over this evening, and then we have our city council members, Councilor Ye.
Yeah, we were just trying to decide if there was stuff to update you on. So we had our police auditor at our recent work session who gave his annual report, which was the entire meeting because there was a lot to go over, and we also got a report from the CRB. So we had I believe it was your chair was there.
Yeah, Jose Cortez.
Yeah, so that was a really informative discussion. It's always
You need to give the police auditor like an actual power. This is clownish.
Mute yourselves. This is an active meeting. Please and thank you.
Anyways, so yeah, so it's always a good combination when both of those are able to be there and kind of talk about their different roles and how they interact. The only other thing I was going to highlight is a future meeting on June 17th. We're going to be talking, we have a work session scheduled on a mass surveillance policy. I know this body's been interested in that, so that might be one you guys want to either tune into or watch after the recording. And again, that's one of the Wednesday meetings, June 17th.
I think you did an awesome job.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilor Ye. Councilor Groves.
Thank you, Chair. I basically appreciate what Councilor Ye said. I guess I'll reserve the rest of my comments for commissioners.
Thank you, Councilor. All right, moving into commissioner comments. And I'll start with Commissioner Donovan. Hello, good morning, good evening.
Hi. I just wanted to say hearing the remarks made in the video were deeply disappointing and extremely harmful, especially within spaces that are meant to kind of serve the community. And I just hope there's a large focus tonight on how EPD plans to address those concerns, that the incident kind of reflects a deeper issue rather than an isolated event.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Bertrand.
Thank you so much. No really other comments here, kind of the same echo comments here with Commissioner Donovan. I am interested to hear a little bit here of what EPD and kind of the going forward, I should say, going forward and building trust with the community again.
Thank you, Commissioner Bertrand. Commissioner Neal.
Yeah, I'll echo the other commissioner comments and leave room for you all the rest of you to say something.
Thank you, Commissioner Neal. Commissioner Rady?
Yeah, I'll try and keep it brief. I was appalled at what was on the videotape. I'm also appalled. I went to the city council meeting Monday, and the comments were similar to what we heard this evening here. And I'm deeply concerned that a relatively small part of the EUGENE community seizes on this issue, not because there was an action taken by the officer, but because of the sentiments expressed, which were totally unacceptable and had no place in any public employee. But they seized the opportunity to attack the police department as a whole, our chief, our officers, and tonight the entire commission as well. And I'm appalled by this because so much of the discussion is not based on facts, but on suppositions that he had a uniform, so they're all like that. And we know how corrupt the department is, though we don't have any instances of corruption to report. And I'm getting real tired of it. I have fought against police misaction my whole life, and I have never, anywhere, and I've been in many cities, I have never seen a department as committed to trying to do the right thing as this one. And the amount of abuse that is taken for doing that makes me furious. And I will leave it at that. I say something I shouldn't.
Thank you, Commissioner Rady. Commissioner Wilgus.
Thank you. I echo many of the comments I've heard already. It was a deeply painful video to watch. It's disgusting and disheartening. I think with every tough circumstance, there are opportunities to do better. And so I hope that we take this circumstance and lean in and figure out how we do better.
Thank you, Commissioner Wilgus. Commissioner Espinoza-Blanco.
Thank you. I believe that it's a very complicated situation, even though the video camera caught that instance on and kind of went viral. So that part isn't complicated, we see, and we all denounce it. I appreciate that Chief Skinner denounced it as right away in public and in paper. It was never anything where he tried to apologize for that officer. The officer resigned right away, and I think that it was because the culture of the department wouldn't have tolerated it. I also understand the frustration that the community has and the people of color have, because what's happening on the national platform, I think that it's being whittled away some of the rights and some of the spaces that we had for people to feel equitable and to feel like they had a voice. So I understand that portion of it. And I think that Eugene is a very wonderful city, because I believe that the town people that I've been in contact with and that I know, they have shown up for the immigrants. They have shown up for the things that have been going harshly. But I also am in a space where I see how the police department really shows up for people in tragedies and having some trauma. They are wonderfully prepared to bring their personalities and their expertise to those situations, and they know how to encourage people, and they've been very kind. So I see both of those situations happening. So that's the part that I'm saying. I know that it's complicated. What I wish is that some of the people that come and they on video or they come in person to say, I hate this, you need to resign, that they somehow understand, they can somehow infuse themselves into the community to see that it isn't just one way. It's complicated, but I think there's some really good people on the police force, in the sheriff's office. They're trying to do the right thing. They're trying to take care of people. And when the city is under a cloud of a riot, they have to make some big decisions as to how to keep people safe. And I'm sorry that people got tear gassed, and I'm sorry that those things happen, especially to the people who brought their children and exposed them to that. That to me, as a mom and a grandma, that is tragedy. That's tragic that happened. But that put aside, I want to go down that rabbit hole. I want people to understand that that EPD is trying to do the right thing. They're trying to be transparent. The fact that we have this commission is a real testament to the city. There's a lot of towns that don't have things like this, and we're all volunteers. We want to be helpful. We want to show up. We want to listen to what these policies are. We want to be fair to people. So I really want people to understand that this wasn't Chief Skinner trying to cover for anybody. He is being transparent, and I believe that the police department is also.
Thank you, Commissioner Espinoza-Blank. Councilor Gross, today, so sorry, Councilor Gross.
Okay. It's a lot of heaviness going on here last few days. Thank you, Chair. And I appreciate what's been said already. I thought that people described it very well. I haven't heard anyone try to defend the ex-officers' comments or behavior. And something else that I was really impressed with, I learned about this on Saturday. I mean, I was just starting to look up numbers to call, and all of a sudden I get a call and had the whole situation not necessarily explained, but what the steps were being taken. And that gave me great comfort to know that we were on top of it so fast. And I agree that, we heard almost immediately from the chief and the auditor. And even though they are separate and operate under separate authorities, they agreed on this, that it was wrong and that they wanted to get to the bottom of that. And I think that was good, and I appreciate it. And I also believe, despite what some people have said, we have a pretty strong oversight system. If you look at all the mechanisms we have between police commission, civilian review board, police independent auditor, and there's others too. I mean, I know that the state has things as well, mandatory reporting and other things, that we try to have good, competent people. At the same time, I know that no matter how bulletproof your hiring process is, sometimes people slip by. And, you have to hear and observe things before you sometimes understand you have a problem. And that's unfortunate, but that's the way it is. I want to do a full stop there and shift gears a little bit. I keep hearing about January 30th, and I hear all kinds of different versions of what happened. Chief, is there some place we can go to get kind of an after action report and see what actually happened there? I know I've been involved in these in the past from the fireside, and they're scary. You know, and people said, well, weren't you scared? I said, well, heck yeah, I was scared, just like everybody else there was, because they're volatile, they're unpredictable. You don't know what's going to happen. And you're kind of in this bubble of fight or flight the whole time. And I've watched that. I've watched fires started. I've seen all kinds of things, especially in the late 90s with the anarchist movement. And so I am sympathetic to the stress that builds, and the stress is cumulative. With that said, I'm interested in knowing about our officers' decorum in an event that was highly volatile and highly dangerous. I think it would be helpful for this group, and I know we've talked briefly about it, I think it would be helpful for our commission to maybe have a presentation on that at some point. I don't know if you have some comments to make during Chief's report, but at the same time, I think that that would be beneficial for us in the city. And remember that we've got people operating under a charged situation. And my experience has always been our officers have maintained their decorum and under really bad circumstances. And I think not that that needs to be taken into account with the ex-officer's behavior, but I think it would be helpful for us to understand. We don't hire robots. We hire human beings that have scars and that feel what's going on. And the officers I've gotten to know over the years, and I have some friends that are police officers, or at least retired police officers. I watched the impact on them of a career of doing this kind of work. Now, firefighters, I think we get beat up a lot physically, but police officers have that constant emotional stress and strain. And not that that excuses the behavior we saw from this one officer, but I think it's important for us to kind of get a look, a glimpse into what our people are going through when they're trying to maintain order. Just a thought. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Gross. Councilor Yang.
Yeah, thanks. I will just thank folks for coming for public comment. We don't always get many here, so even when the subjects are hard, it is nice to have people show up and share what they're thinking with us. And I also want to thank all of my fellow commissioners for their thoughtful comments tonight. I know you are all volunteers, and sometimes it is hard to do this work, especially when there are topics like this on the table, and folks sometimes don't always understand the role of the police commission. And I appreciate you all being willing to come here and be thoughtful and continue to do the work that's been asked of you. That is not easy, and I want you to know that it is appreciated.
Councilor Yang. I'll say it's brief. I don't know if it will be. Living in Eugene, I love this community. It's really quite amazing. The people are passionate, and I absolutely love and adore that. I heard about the incident Saturday morning, and I was a bit in shock. That's not Eugene. That's not the people I know. That does not resonate with any of us. Fully denounce it. So I was in shock for a bit, and then a couple hours later, our our independent auditor put out a release stating that they had taken action, and then the chief and the auditor had put out an announcement. And when I think about things that go wrong, how are they handled? What's being said? How is it being handled overall? Is it quietly being dismissed, or is it being like, yeah, hey, this is what's happening? And I appreciate that. I appreciate the transparency. I appreciate the quickness and the response that happened. And I just want to thank you all for taking those steps and actions to address that and take the next steps. Hate has no place here, absolutely no place. And I'm curious, I'm gonna ask it, how are you all feeling with having a coworker and finding that information out yourself? That's all I have. Thank you. All right. Oh, next topic. Next time. We're not over, guys. Chief's report. Chief Skinner.
I'm gonna need more than 10 minutes, Chair.
We are ahead of schedule, so you got it.
Let me do my best to try and unpack a few thoughts as a result of what you can imagine has been a nonstop since Saturday. Being in the arena, trying to do two things here, which is to answer for what is unanswerable, and taking care of this community, and concurrently trying to take care of an organization that's expected to show up every single day and still deliver a really good service, and a fair and impartial service. So let me just start with a couple of thoughts. First of all, I want to thank my professional staff that's sitting here. When those of us have decided to take an oath and put on this badge and be given the awesome authority that this state has given us to be able to impact people's civil liberties, we know that we bear the burden of some of the words that come out of people's mouths. We're equipped for that, we're built for that. Some of us are more resilient than others, we do that. But my professional staff that's sitting here that did not take that oath, that chose to, even when I said you could be excused, chose to be here. I just want to thank them for that. So, Martin Siller is no longer a part of the organization. We know that. He self-selected out. I need people to understand that this was not a matter of allowing him to resign. When somebody walks in and puts their gun and their badge and their prox card on the desk and walks out the door, there's no mechanism by which we chase after somebody and tell them they can't resign. So that's, I think, a bit of a misunderstanding of how that goes. There was one thing that was said at council that I do agree with, and one thing that was said tonight that I want to point out. There is a part of me that does appreciate this coming forward. If but for this body cam footage being released in Discovery, would we have known that this guy existed in our ranks? And the answer could possibly have been no. And so for that, I am grateful, because we are better today than we were on Saturday as an organization. The other thing that was said today that resonated with me is the comment that said we failed and we messed up, and we absolutely, as human beings, fail and mess up. We're not a perfect organization. We're never going to be a perfect organization. It is a journey that we have been on since the dawn of time, and since the 8 years that I've been here, on how we improve the way we show up for this community and how we improve processes and those types of things. And we've got a ton of mechanism to help us with that, but we're going to continue to fail and mess up. So if you're looking for the perfect police department, it's not going to happen here. It's not going to happen anywhere. All we can do is just own our mistakes and continue to try and be better, and learn from those mistakes. And we're committed to that. And I think that we've shown that we're committed to that. In every instance over the last 8 years that has been thrown out as as an example of misconduct that happens in this organization, of serious misconduct, in every instance that has been brought up, what I would point out to people is that to a person, those people are no longer a part of this organization. We do not tolerate. We don't tolerate that behavior. We handle it as soon as we are made aware of it. In many instances, very swiftly, administrative leave and the discipline process occurs with the help of the auditor's office, and we go through that process. And I'm very proud of the fact that we make those tough decisions, because I have been a part of police departments and have seen, as I've gone through, I rose up through the ranks of situations where people have tried to survive when probably they didn't deserve the survival opportunity. And so I think we try to make sure that we, in every incident, we're a better organization the day after that person leaves. As it pertains to January 30th, and just the body cam video, the volume of body cam video that was released, that is, interestingly enough, a nuance that has never happened to us before through a clerical error, where the amount of body cam footage that was released that was not of evidentiary purposes is now what's being called in question. Thankful on one hand because it revealed a cancer in our organization that needed to be excised, and certainly challenging as we move forward. So some of the things that we have done as a result of that is we have had staff, I have had staff, and staff has been so gracious about doing this, has looked through all the body cam video to try and identify if there's any other instances that we should be aware of. We did this back in 2020 with George Floyd riots, and when we were dealing with that, we looked at body cam video when some things came up. We've done that with this 270-ish so videos, and I'm gonna see if Lieutenant Griffith is nodding his head. And what we have uncovered is a few videos that are concerning. And what I would say is that we have sent those to the auditor's office for classification. He has looked at them. There are going to be a couple of allegations coming out of that because it is dialogue that is outside of our expectations of professionalism. But what I can tell you is that they're not biased or racially motivated at all. What I could categorize it as some attempts at some fairly dark humor and trying to be funny, and it just wasn't funny. And so we're going to hold our folks accountable for that. And so we are continuing to look at how we can be better in bringing things to the auditor's attention that we feel like should be captured, and going through that process. The difference, because I'm not going to talk in detail, is because those folks are employees of our organization, and they enjoy, like many employees do, the due process rights and the just cause standard, and the process has to be followed to a T. If there's one thing I'm a stickler about, it's the process, making sure the process is fair and impartial. We have to do a complete and consistent investigation in the auditor's office, and Craig's office will be doing that with us, and we'll be starting that very, very shortly. So we've looked at our own house, and we've identified some things, and you probably heard in the auditor's report at work session yesterday that another thing that I'm proud of is how many allegations actually are generated internally should not be overlooked. If we are waiting for this community to catch us doing something bad, that is something that we should be concerned with. But what we're actually doing is we're actually self-reporting on so many instances, and this is another case of self-reporting that we'll go through. The other piece of that work, to your point, Councilor Rose, the other piece of that work that we engaged in is, in looking at all that video, it became so apparent of how many things went really right that night. The number of videos depicting the type of abuse that our officers endured, that we know that we signed on for, but it just is incomprehensible, the types of things that are being said to our officers. And what I find interesting is that in the releasing of videos that we're not seeing much balance about that night. And while Officer Siller video sits and stands alone as its own gross misrepresentation of EPD, albeit a gross representation of the character of that individual. We have a ton of other video that depicts our officers being assaulted and insulted that nobody should ever have to hear, and kept their composure and their bearing I've got so much pride for them, pride in them, and how they were able to do that. We had one instance where a female officer was being abused so badly that we had to pull her off the line. And that female officer asked to be put back on because she said, quote unquote, I can take it. I can't even read you the comments in this form, but that's the piece of the story that often doesn't get told about this police department. The hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of conflicts that we've tried to manage and crowds we've tried to manage successfully, bringing a sense of safety to those people so they can exercise their First Amendment rights of free speech, goes back years and years and years. And I know at this moment in time, we will continue to focus on the negative aspects of that particular night and some of our behavior, and I'm happy to do that. But I'd be remiss if I didn't, to your point out that we are paying attention to that. There is some care and feeding that I have to do internally because that stress is cumulative. And much like these professional staff members had to be subjected tonight that didn't sign up for this, we have to make sure that we're paying attention to that. So we're moving forward with those investigations and doing that. And I just wanted to make sure that I had an opportunity to just thank the organization for standing fast and having the composure that they had. I'm not sure I could do it, honestly. Not sure I could do that. A couple of things. Let me just back up. We did disagree. Okay. What we didn't disagree on was the use of force allegation.
That's right.
Okay. What we disagreed on was the fact that we had a separate allegation of judgment, which felt a little bit redundant to me, that you said, I'm going to find you sustained on an excessive use of force or outside of policy, and then I'm going to find it sustained that you use poor judgment using excessive force. That felt a little bit redundant. So let's just to qualify, I think we're more in alignment than what most people would think, and I appreciate the CRB because they give us a chance to come and explain that. I love that aspect of the engagement. So you give a chance for me to have an opportunity, or in this case, probably, I don't know if Deputy Chief was there that night or he wasn't. Maybe he wasn't there.
Lieutenant Griffin.
But but that relationship is great, and they invite us there, and they often are curious about if we do disagree, how we maybe saw things differently, and so I really appreciate that. So that's good. On a much happier note, let me just say, 6 officers I passed today onto psych and medical, 3 male and 3 female officers, and a really great group, very bright group of a combination of University of Oregon grad, Southern Oregon grad, some military folks that are working in our community. That's really good. We have 11 going to background from the most recent process. We'll wait and see how many of those pass background. And so our hiring is feels like it's starting to pick up. And so that's very, very encouraging, and looking forward to that. We have promoted 3 lieutenants recently. This is not acting Lieutenant Griffith. This is actual Lieutenant Griffith, and he will be staying in professional standards. Rob Griesel will be going to patrol, and Jessica Dalton will be going to patrol as a watch commander. We're really excited about that. And so with those promotions, we will also be able to open our sergeant process this summer. And we have a lot of excitement to promote to sergeant. We've had over the last couple of sergeants, the sergeant's process for me is kind of a litmus test on where people are at. We'll talk about all things being culture. In the last 2 sergeants process over the last couple of years, I'm not gonna have my numbers right, but they're gonna be pretty dang close. We've had as close to about 25 people apply to be sergeants. That's an outstanding number, and one that should not be overlooked. We had a great group of lieutenants, 5 lieutenant candidates. We had 3 positions, and we'll see how many sergeants candidates we have for the upcoming process. So that is really good for the organization as we move forward. So I'm going to stop there because I probably took double my time. I'm happy to answer any questions that maybe people have.
Commissioner Reagan.
I just want to say one thing about January 30th. As someone who has spent many years in riot situations, but on the other side of the street, facing the police, when I saw the video of the Eugene Police Department stepping in to place themselves between the people who were screaming Nazi at them and the federals behind, who were likely to open fire on the idiots at any time. I damn near cried. And while they stood there and took all of that abuse with their backs to the potential shooters, they did not do anything to the people who were abusing them. And I have had so many situations of seeing a police line just like that and we had to run for our lives because they wanted to hurt us and tried. We were young and fast, so many of us got away, but my hat is off to the people who were on that line, who did that to protect the very people who are now calling for all of them to be fired for having done so. You don't get much understanding from some folks, but those of us who know something about what you do in this town do appreciate it, and thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Let me just kind of, so we sat in this room when we made that decision, and just so that you know, and I'll give you just a little window into that decision making that night if you didn't hear it from comments or read it somewhere. We sat in this room as that was unfolding, and there was a variety of people in different rooms trying to make decisions, but I sat in this room. First and foremost, that call was mine and mine alone. Of course, I lean on staff. Of course, I try to get the best information I can. I bounce things off them, and I don't make it myopically. And it's not without a ton of thoughtful process before I make that decision. The piece that people won't ever experience is as we're watching the drone footage on the TVs behind me, watching in real time what's unfolding, but maybe more importantly, hearing the panic in the voices of the federal agents that were in the building, armed federal agents in the building that were sorely understaffed. My biggest concern was a deadly outcome as a result of people breaching that building and those federal agents feeling like they had to protect the civilians that were in the building with serious or deadly force. So my choice to do that was exactly that, is to, once the windows started to be broken, now we can go back and forth on who broke the windows. You know, there's been a ton of investigations, but at that moment in time, the intelligence that we had and what we saw happening is those windows were being broken, and there was a significant concern about the breaching of the building. That's when I decided to put us in there to make sure that we wouldn't have what could have been an armed confrontation with those people. So I know there's a ton of Monday morning quarterbacking that goes on after any decision we make. We live in a college town with a very successful football team. Coach Lanning, I'm sure, gets Monday morning quarterbacked all the time. Unless you're in the room with the intelligence that you have and you're taking in all the information to include the visual and the auditory information to make that decision, it's hard for anybody to know what the right call is, but that was the call that I made at the time. And under the same set of circumstances, I'd make the same call again. So, thank you.
Any other questions? I have a quick question.
Sure.
And I may have misunderstood, but I just want to clarify. So the body-worn camera footage that was reviewed by staff, it was 240, 270 hours? Was that specifically?
What was it on?
The total number of videos was 270 something.
Was that just for the January 30th day? Okay, thank you.
That's just for, well, that's just that got tagged with the case number that went to the defense attorney who is defending a defendant for discovery. There's probably more video out there that was on January 30th, but that's just that discovery case number and what the videos were, 207.
Thank you for the clarification. Yeah. Okay. Counselor,
Yeah, I have a question that's going to expose how little I know. You said that there's a lot of people who were applying for sergeant. And I'm wondering, is that a good thing because we have a lot of people interested in leadership, or because they have reached a certain level of training? I guess I don't. So
my experience, Counselor Ye, is that And remember, at the moment in time that you're going to be a sergeant, you're leaving the union and going into being a non-union representation. And so it is really, really hard for people to leave that level of protection or that sense of protection of the union. You know, the benefits there, the contract is very attractive. So it is hard to get people to leave that level of comfort. To have that many people want to leave that and actually become a non-rep. Now, the sergeants have since then unionized, but at that time, to be able to leave that, I think is a really good sign of feeling comfortable, wanting to move into a position of leadership, feeling comfortable leaving kind of the umbrella of EPEA or the union landscape. And it's been my experience in other agencies that you're hoping for 2, 3, or 4 good candidates, or 2, 3, 4 candidates at all. And in our first sergeant's process, to have as many as 13 or 15. The second one was like 7 or 8. This one, or it was 7 or 8 lieutenants. It was more than that in sergeants. And then, you know, for this upcoming sergeant's process, you know, I've heard from 5, 6, or 7 different people that probably really want to do it. So I don't have maybe all those numbers perfect, but just it's a volume of people that feels really good that we're heading in the right direction.
Thanks, I appreciate that. Makes sense.
Councilor Gross.
I was going to stop talking, but that reminded me. I mean, my experience has always been when your people believe in the leadership of the organization, you have people showing up for promotional exams. And when there is doubt and uncertainty or disrespect, people don't show up for promotions.
And we've got, I mean, Owen's a lieutenant now, but I think he was a sergeant we promoted in one of those processes, and so was Allison. So you got 2 of them sitting here that chose to leave the union and be a part of it. And I just got lucky enough that they both ended in the chief's office. Very talented policy sergeant. And then Owen's done a great job in IA as an investigator, and then recently promoted. And now he's going to run that unit for me. Especially now that we have sergeants in their own bargaining unit, having a lieutenant makes a lot of sense just from an oversight perspective. So.
Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you, Chief.
Thank you for indulging me on my editorial comments.
Appreciate it. All right, so we're gonna jump into our body worn camera and in-car video, police policy 1202. And Sergeant Jordan, do you want to start? And
I would love to.
Thank you.
Okay, so you'll all notice that there were 4 documents. No, maybe. Yeah, 4 documents. So we've got the marked up copy. I'm sad that Commissioner Lyman's not here to appreciate it with me. Very marked up. And then the draft version, 1202. And then I included the previous 2 policies, 1202 and 1203. And so you'll see we ended up with 1. There were a lot of redundancies between the 2 of them. And so we made the decision to combine those into 1 policy because there's a lot of parts that are kind of the same for, you know, program administration, things like that. And then each has its own section within that policy for the specifics of the individual body-worn camera unit for the in-car video. So with that said, I want to introduce our subject matter experts who I work with to revise the policy, in addition to some other people. To my right, I have Connor Sheely. He's our technology services manager. He's been with EPD 11.5 years, 5 of those as the manager of that division. Corin Evans is our evidence control unit supervisor. She's been at EPD for 24 years, 8 of those at our evidence control unit. And Chris Stetson, who's our public records program supervisor. He's been with EPD for 22 years and 4 years supervising that department. Why their positions are important and what they bring to the table is kind of critical. They have so much expertise between the 3 of them, and they are so involved in the administration of this program. So Connor is kind of dealing with the actual equipment itself, which I brought. Connor brought a body cam and just kind of how they mount to people's uniforms. It's not on, and we're not going to turn it on, but just so you can see what the unit looks like if you haven't seen it before. And so this is getting things installed properly in cars. This is making sure that all the cameras are working. If they're broken, we're fixing, we're troubleshooting technology. Corin's role is more about the storage and kind of safekeeping of that evidence. you know, there's always the chain of custody. We have to make sure that all of our evidence is stored properly within the best practices and industry standards, and it meets court requirements. That chain of custody is always important, and making sure that things that need to be released are, making sure that things that are needing to be purged or saved for a certain amount of time are. And then Chris Stetson, as his title, you know, kind of indicates, he's dealing with public records requests. So when someone requests a case or video, he's working within basically the constraints of the Oregon revised statutes and working with our city attorney to make sure that we're responsive to all of those requests and serving the community that way. So I don't know if everybody, but we always do this, I always ask this, do you have any questions off the top or want to start somewhere?
Commissioner Rady?
The only thing I don't really have questions. The thing I noticed when reading through the policy was how tough it was. That it was, you will have this on and you will keep it on, and the only circumstances you can turn it off are these, and you need permission and you need to report about it. And I thought, good stuff. This is serious. This is not, you know, a suggestion. This is very, very hard, and I thought that was a great thing. I'm happy with it.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Wilgus.
I have two questions. The first is, what is electromuscular dysfunction?
Oh, so that actually has already been updated. That came out of another agency's policy. I think that term did. What we're going with is actually, so that bullet C will read, BWCs or body worn cameras will generally activate when the emergency lights of a vehicle equipped with an axon signal unit are activated, or when an axon conducted energy weapon, CEW, device is turned on, and may also be manually activated by the officer. That's a taser.
Got it.
So,
yeah.
Okay.
So understand, when you think about this, the turning on of the body cam is not always just a manual thing. They automatically go on when certain things happen. And that is a mechanism to try and make sure that, think about an officer in an emotionally and stressful situation isn't always going to remember to turn it on, and so it gets turned on. And that's also oftentimes why we have inadvertent recordings too. So we'll have recordings that people don't know about, as we're having a tough conversation about right now. But that's just that's the nature of the beast, is that the technology is triggered by other pieces of technology.
Can I ask my other question too? There's on page 2 in 1202.4, it talks about an officer checking in with an on-duty watch commander if they don't have a body-worn camera. How often is it that officers have a body-worn camera?
So it's rare. Everybody has an assigned camera. I would say that in scenarios where somebody doesn't typically work a patrol assignment, maybe they're a special unit, but most of those have assigned cameras as well. Typically that's if there's a malfunction with the equipment. We've also had people's cameras fall off in the river or become a biohazard, and so I mean, it's very, very rare scenarios, but we do, obviously, we don't want people out patrolling without a functioning camera, so.
And we have spares that we keep, so they come to the watch commander, they ask for a spare. Or there have been cases where when officers show up and their body cam's at 0, they'll grab somebody else's and they'll let the supervisor know, like, for tonight, this says I'm Officer Jones, but I'm really this guy, I'm rectify the military. But we're not sending them out with the cameras.
Thank you.
Do they have spare batteries, or do the batteries last a really long time? Are they in charge of charging their own batteries if they're charged?
Let's hear.
The devices do not have a removable battery. They can't guarantee what the life is. It depends on how often it's recording, but it's typically up to the bullshit.
Now, do you know if it runs out of battery? Will it, like a smoke detector, just keep beeping at you loudly?
It does notify you once it hits a certain percentage.
It's heavy. That is heavier than I thought.
It actually has the magnet mounting piece on the back of it. So it probably feels a little heavier as well.
But like trying to wear this and everything else, that's a lot of stuff. What's the little screen up there for?
That's just the display. The status screen tells you if it's ready, if it's recording, what your battery life is. I do want to say with that strong magnet, if you happen to have a mechanical valve or something, I wouldn't recommend putting it up to your chest.
What does that button do? Is it a button? Can I push it?
It's turned out, it's powered off at the moment, yes.
Commissioner Espinosa.
I have a technical question. If you get pulled over and somebody's wearing one of these and you have not been read your Miranda rights, is anything that they catch on this, on the recorder, is that allowed during a trial, or if something bigger becomes of it?
I think it depends on what you mean by catch. So if it's an officer questioning a person before they've needed to read them their Miranda rights, I mean, that would be captured and that would probably come up in court, but it would also capture the officer approaching the vehicle. So anything that's happening, any movements, any spontaneous utterances.
I guess I'm thinking more of a conversation.
Yeah, I mean, it should capture that.
It's going to capture the conversation, and then through the discovery process, the legal system will determine whether or not it's really, it's releasable or not. So they can be redacted. So they'll redact, and there's a lot of, and Chris can talk a little bit about this from a public records perspective. There's a lot of things that both in our written reports and our body cam that by law we have to redact anyway. So we go through that process as well.
Commissioner Reed.
Yeah, I remember during 2 cases where body cam footage was released to the public by the DA's office in the Rodriguez and Landeros cases, and in both cases there was problems with the camera either falling off or just not being able to distinguish between the sounds of the wrestling match that was going on and the shots being fired. And I was thinking that cameras would probably evolve eventually to improve both of those kind of situations. Has there been much difference now?
There's a couple vendors in the marketplace, and Connor can talk about this. I mean, Axon is, I would say they have the majority of the market share in this space. The tough part about camera technology is it has to be obviously forward facing and in a position where it can kind of gather the types of visual and audio information that it needs to, and by virtue of that, it generally is always mounted on an officer's existing external vest or directly onto their uniform. And anytime that happens, just because of the physical nature of the job that we do, we're susceptible to it knocking off, getting caught on things, those types of things. So it's interesting to me though that with today's technology that the body cams are still this big, quite honestly. And I don't know if that has to do more with battery life. When you think about the way they're marketing these, most police departments are working 10 to 12-hour shifts. The whole 5-8 shift is kind of a thing of the past, and so trying to find a way to have a body cam last an entire shift is difficult. Just to give you a sense of scale, and I found this out earlier, Connor was great about this. So between our body cam and our in-car videos and some of our evidence or some of our interview room, because Axon also has the video capability in our interview room, we're storing over 20,000 hours of digital evidence every year. If you broke that down and say you had somebody that needed to review all of that, a single person working 24 hours a day would take them 833 days just to review the amount of video that we're capturing. So it's a ton. What is it, 37 terabytes,
37.5
terabytes a year of video evidence that we're capturing. And so it's a big deal. Yeah.
Commissioner Neal.
Thank you. Thanks for being here as well to talk about this. A question came up at the CRB about Freedom of Information Act, and I'm wondering how that relates to body-worn video.
Yeah, so I mean, any type of record that the police department creates is subject to public disclosure. What there may be is there may be an exemption to that public disclosure, which would cause us to withhold it. Generally, videos we regard it the same way as photographs, but there's some specific laws surrounding the body-worn cameras. So 192.345 section 40 of the ORS effectively states that anytime you affix a camera to a police officer's body, unless it meets a public interest test, it's generally exempt from disclosure. So oftentimes body cameras need to rise to a level of public interest before they're released under Oregon Public Records Act. In-car videos are generally releasable the same way cases are. However, certain redactions need to be made for privacy to police officers' faces, HIPAA information, sensitive information that might be captured on the camera. So they're generally disclosable unless there's an exemption to apply.
Thank you. I will say we had a training on the actual use, the physical use of the cameras and like how it goes on the vest and where it might be. So if anybody is curious about that, you can watch the recording of the Civilian Review Board for more detail, sort of functioning of it on a vest. From was she sergeant or lieutenant? Sergeant. Describe that from training. I was wondering about. I want to get to the policy stuff at the end, but about artificial intelligence and how that's like playing into reviewing video, or if that's in the ether of future ways of reviewing like such a large amount of video evidence. I don't know if that's on your radar at all.
What's in the marketplace and what we're not doing?
We're currently not using as much as we may need to, and how it would help with some efficiencies. We're not using any AI for reviewing the digital evidence at this time. There are some vendors out there, Axon being one of them, that do have some features and modules that are available. However, EPD is not using any of those. There are some that can assist with report writing based on transcription from a video, but it's not something that we have here.
Okay. That's great. I think as a community, it's something like one thing that on the CRB, we review a lot of body-worn footage, and it helps us understand as civilians what's going on in the investigation that we're reviewing again. So for us, it's a useful tool to sort of see many vantage points, and in a situation that is fast-moving, you often have multiple viewpoints from different officers' body-worn video. But again, it creates this huge amount of evidence for the police department to sort of manage and not always look through, because there's not always an incident that has to be reviewed. So I guess as a community, I would be interested in talking about what tools we have to do broader review, like has been done now of the incident in January 30th, where you caught these other sort of incidences that might require some additional training for officers or interventions for officers. I think I'm not an advocate for artificial intelligence at large, like, it's very broad and scary in a lot of ways, but in terms of reviewing this thing that we have as a tool for bettering ourselves, potentially we have options to find cases that we would want to review again. It could be something to look into, and that's for the community to discuss over time, I think, not just to be decided by the police bureau to incorporate. I think the hesitancy that you were talking about using that tool makes me understand that you get that the community might be hesitant to use artificial intelligence in that way, so that's good. The policy question that I have is actually was brought up in public comment, and that's about muting. And so we have had instances in our reviews on the Civilian Review Board where an officer has muted their body-worn video, and it comes at a time when it would have been helpful to maybe hear what was said in our own review. And so I'm just curious, like, at the breadth of the description of when muting is feasible and allowable, and how that's trained, or if it could be tightened up, or yeah, it's sort of the area of the policy that makes me uneasy as someone who reviews a lot of that video. So that, I don't know if that's key for when.
Well, no, it was. I mean, I think the policy was when I got here. The policy, well, it's not as robust as it is now, but the muting aspect of that, and so I think that's been an ongoing conversation. I've had that ongoing conversation with a variety of auditors, both Mark Gisner and Leah Pitcher, both, and we've kind of talked about, okay, how do we how do we reduce the instances of needing to look at an allegation for muting by adjusting the policy language. Some would suggest that there's no excuse for muting, and that's one way to do it, is just make sure it's on all the time and do that. And there's complications with that. There's a variety of things that are concerning about that. However, the piece that feels difficult at times is you're leaving the choice to mute based on that person's, at that moment in time, they're trying to articulate that they muted for certain reasons. And so there's always a bit of a disagreement on whether or not you think it meets the definition of the policy. The one piece that I think is, as an example in this meeting, is if you have from a personnel perspective, if you have a supervisor that's going to pull an officer aside, which is what you want to do, is you have a supervisor that recognizes that an officer needs some on-site coaching and counseling, or needs to have a tough conversation to get an officer's attention, so that we make sure that we're doing the right thing as a supervisor. Not capturing that on body cam from a personnel perspective, I believe is the right thing to do. There's other things that are a little bit in the gray area, like tactics or tactical conversations. Is it really a tactical conversation? Isn't a tactical conversation? So I think it's a bit in the gray. I think it's up to the individual that's muting to be able to articulate that, and they should articulate that in their reports. And I know that it'll be called in question. So I say all of that to say, we're happy to entertain any recommendations on that. And as with any policy adjustments that are going to be a material change in the way we do operations, then it would be incumbent on me to have that discussion with the labor group, and we would bargain the impacts of that. But I'm happy to entertain any suggestions that the police commission might have on how maybe we tighten that up.
Well, yeah, as a member of this commission and maybe as of CRB, I would want to maybe investigate why strategy and tactics would need to be something that an officer would want to mute for, especially because it's not like the videos become immediately available for public consumption, and there are ways to redact it over time. It could be in the policy potentially that it's, but I'm not. Yeah, I guess one of the reasons I asked about Freedom of Information Act is because I don't know how available that information would then be to people outside of the department or outside of oversight. And so that would be my concern, is if there really is a tactical discussion or a strategic discussion that shouldn't just be out there in public, then I would worry about that. But if that's not true, then I
think that's a fair assessment, but and I would also say it's not only discussions, but it's actual movements, and tactical in nature, that those types of advantages are helpful for officer safety. Those preserved. But your point is well taken, in the sense that if we have a robust mechanism by which we can redact those things or not make those available for public consumption, something we can certainly look at.
Yeah, I would propose that. Only one member of this board, but that's something that I would think that would give more trust to the oversight process. Of course, it sounds like conversations with the union would have to happen on that, and other groups. So those are two things.
Do you have any language to propose?
Well, it would just be striking strategy and tactics from 1202.4.1. I guess, and also striking 4, because it would still involve discussions of coaching and counseling that would be muted, which I think I understand the perspective there. Although as a community member, it's on the CRB, it's helpful to see that. Actually, it's helpful to sort of understand the on-the-ground coaching that takes place, which we know from reviewing investigations and conversations that we are able to review that are written. So I would like to see those, but I understand the reason why that would want to be not a part of the record.
I'd be curious, not to put you on the spot, Owen, but I'd be curious if you have some perspective on the strategy and tactics piece of this, just having your experience working in the various special teams that you've had. Certainly when this policy was written, I don't know how long ago, but it was probably when we first got body cams, which were on year 12 or 13 of body cams. I mean, we were one of the first agencies in the state to adopt body cams. Sure. And that was kind of our best guess on what we felt like We also probably back then didn't have the robust statutes that exempted it from public records, and so I don't know.
Well, I think I could speak to the fact that operationally, it's pretty rare that we mute for strategy or tactics, and I think it's kind of that last ditch if we're doing something that is not a tactic that's out there widely, that we're protecting that a little bit for officer safety reasons, as Chief said. But it's very rare, and I can speak to Sergeant Jensen in Internal Affairs, and we teach our new recruits about internal affairs, and we talk about body cams, and we preach body cams are your friends, leave them on. I've had a number of complaints against myself that I know didn't happen. My supervisor can plug the body cam in, review it right away, and go, that didn't happen. I got accused of stealing $100. It didn't happen. They can plug in the body cam and say, okay, this didn't happen. So it's very rare that we actually mute for strategy tactics or tactics. It's rare. I don't know if that helps, but
it does. We've reviewed multiple cases that have included that, right? So we are only seeing a certain select, very tiny number of cases. Right. So it's in that statistic, and so that's why it comes up for the civilian report.
And the ones that I'm aware of there, and you've been on CFB longer than I've been in this position, are often adjudicated as sustained allegations. So
yeah, I don't.
Okay,
if you remember,
yeah, I'm not pushing back, but in general, I think when we've had that happen, they end up being sustained allegations.
Counselor.
Just an observation. Shortly after 9/11, the Oregon State Legislature shifted what was blocked from public records requests, and a lot of it was fear of internal terrorism, and tactics and strategy were specifically cited in that. For example, in fire, we wouldn't release our South Hills fire plant because that's a model of how you could really screw up the city if somebody wanted to. I know since that time things have really loosened up, and the fear mongering has kind of subsided, but that might be where the genesis of this was, specifically citing tactics and strategy.
Counselor.
Thank you. I had a question about the sensitive interviews. I think this makes a lot of sense. Why, if someone requested a victim or wanted to not be recorded, obviously that's completely understandable. But in here it says they have to request it. I'm assuming, is it common for officers, if they feel like they're in a sensitive environment, to ask the person? Because I feel like you would not think of that maybe in a crisis situation, that, oh, I don't want to be recorded.
I would say that for the most part, it comes with the advisement, I'm recording. And then that starts a conversation usually if the person is uncomfortable with it, and I think all officers would respond appropriately, or they should. Now, if it's like a crisis and things are happening fast, the unfortunate but also kind of silver lining thing is that's going to catch things that may be critical at trial. And so I suppose as soon as they become aware that somebody might not want really horrible things recorded visually, maybe just audio, it just kind of depends. I mean, we want to balance those things by getting the best evidence and respecting their wishes.
And would that type of footage be something that could be exempt from like a public request?
It depends. So the nature of the crime is something that gets factored in. There's a test on whether or not a reasonable person would be offended by this information being released, or if it benefits the public more by having so there's a lot of shades of gray in there, but it's very frequent that we redact victim statements to withhold privacy, to keep protect them from putting the actions of the perpetrator out there. So we do a lot of redactions in that sense.
Oh, I forgot to say I agree with you, Commissioner. So I as another commissioner, I think looking into that would be a good recommendation for us to make.
I also agree with Commissioner about that we should do. It has to stay on. I have a question that I'm just trying to get to understand the chronology of what happened January 30th. So, did the video that an individual recorded, did that get leaked, or did that go out into the public? And then though, EPD went back to look at body camera, or did it happen the other way around?
So, EPD made an arrest of an individual act. And during the criminal justice process, part of that process is the defense attorney has the ability to accept discovery, which is any evidence that might affect their client as they defend their client. That event that night had a case number, which we often, big events or any events, we have case numbers too. And so part of what happened is all of these videos in some respect had a nexus to that case number. So when we were being responsive to the discovery request, we just grabbed everything that had that case number associated with it and sent it to the defense attorney. The defense attorney, of course, shares it with his client or her client. I'm not sure if it's a male or female defense attorney, their client. And so then they get a chance to review all of that. So that was how the video became a part of that. The video that depicts Officer Siller in his conversation with another Utah officer that is so deeply concerning to include an earlier conversation in the day was an inadvertent or unaware recording, as you can imagine. And those often happen if you're in close proximity to somebody testing a taser, they go on. If you're in close proximity to maybe another patrol car turning on its overheads, it could go on. And so those things happen. And so some of these videos, most of these videos are like intentional. My body camera is on. I'm actively engaged with the public. We are recording this conversation. So if you were to say, if somebody were to say to me, I'd love to see the way these protesters were behaving with their officers, all of that is recorded intentionally. And then we have a few instances of inadvertent recordings. And as we went through, as Owen, I say we like I did any of this work, as Owen and his team went through all of those to see if there was anything of concern, we found a couple of those inadvertent recordings and people being a little fast and loose with their vernacular that is does not meet our expectations for a level of professionalism. And so that's what we sent to the auditor's office for their review.
Yeah, and I'll just say from the experience of reviewing footage around a single investigation, we see like hours of driving in cars, like just like so much peripheral recording that is not really pertinent to the investigation, but even the stuff that we get passable.
Do you have anybody ever saying to the radio that it just?
To be honest, like we have only so much time as volunteers, so often I try to get to the most important aspects of the body worn videos, but now I'm gonna probably watch more. So
Trust me,
that I find someone.
Most of them should stick to police work.
Yeah, that's to say that.
Any other questions? Anything else you think would be important for us to know?
No, I think that this is a good example of a working document that, you know, can always be improved and kind of, refined. So just, yeah.
And I would just thank Allison because she took the initiative to say we've got an in-car video policy and a body cam policy that is very redundant, should be treated largely the same, and pulled this together as a way to be a little bit more efficient. And so I just want to thank her for that work.
Thank you. All right.
And it's just a clarifying question. So in terms of process, we're not voting on this today, I guess. Is the next step to do internal work about the language they propose?
I think what you're asking to do is just, so you're not offering, so here's what I appreciate this commission, is that we're thinking about working on substantive changes. And oftentimes we get bogged into where the comma's gonna go in a sentence sometimes, but this is, so you're talking about bringing this out and just leaving the coaching and counseling piece in there. That's enough for us to understand what your desires are. I've got a little bit of work to do because it is a significant change to the policy, and I will need to engage internally with some stakeholders in a bargaining atmosphere to hear what the impacts, what people believe the impacts of that be. So I think there is some work for us to do. Now, if things like turn out beautifully, then we may be coming back to you with a policy saying, here's the proposed policy that's been removed, all of the work we've done internally, we're good to go. We want you to vote on this and do that. Or we might come back and say, here's some of the concerns I heard, and have another discussion. That feels like probably what's gonna happen.
I do want to add one thing, I'm so sorry. One change also that's in here that's not in any other version is the fact that CSOs will have body cams in the future. So that means they'll have body worn cameras on their person and in-car video in their vehicles. You know, they respond to a lot of crashes and interact with the public a lot in many kind of facets, as well as our animal welfare officers. They will have body cams. I don't know about there.
So just for the room, the community service officer is a non-sworn professional staff member, but does respond to calls for service and interacts with our public. And so that's what Sergeant Jordan is talking about. And then the animal welfare officer as well does a lot of those things. And so that I think is another example of many agencies that have not chosen to go down that path, because quite honestly, statutorily, they're not required to. This is for police officers, but we believe this is to be in court cases.
Yeah, and I mean, just to echo on that, they do things like transport evidence, and so this is a really good, you know, part of their evidence collection will be captured by that. Responding to crashes, they're the first on scenes where maybe that's going to be important later. So there's some real benefits to it. So, yeah. Councilor Gross?
Thank you, Chair. I like the idea of more body cameras like that. I think it protects everybody. But I'm curious, do we get many complaints on our CSOs, or is that mostly sworn officers?
We get some because the trucks they drive around say Eugene Police Department, and their uniforms say Eugene Police Department. They say community service officer, but so we get driving complaints saying someone was driving too fast in a truck that said Eugene Police Department, and then I have a way of identifying who it was and where they were and from there. So we get some complaints.
Not very many customer service type.
I was gonna say nothing. Generally, they're kind of on the lower end of customer.
There wouldn't be use of force, or
no use of force. Yeah, they're not authorized to use force. Okay. We are moving down a path where we're heading down the path where we're going to allow our CSOs to be able to drive code in those vehicles. Because of what we're asking them to do, we're going to give them the training and the ability to get from point A to point B quicker than usual, so that we can be more responsive.
Traffic control at crash sites is important.
Yeah.
So are we passing this tonight, or are we waiting on
I think it sounds like we are gonna wait and
We've heard the feedback. We've got some work to do, and what I'd hate for you to do is pass this and for me to come back and say, we need another bite. So we've got some work to do, because I do have some labor relations stuff I need to do on that. I've heard you loud and clear on what sentiment is. I think the piece that I would want to know from the commission is if you're all in agreement. Maybe what you do is you vote on this change, so that I know that I'm crystal clear on what I'm going to be working on with the union, and then bring it back when we get some better feedback.
Commissioner Neal, would you like to set a motion?
Yeah. Should my motion be a policy change motion, or just a motion for the police department to look into a proposed policy change?
I think you can make the motion to, I move to change the policy to remove whatever you want to remove.
Sure.
And then that gives me one.
Okay, yeah, so I would move to change policy, to adopt policy 1202 with an amendment to the current version we have, section 1202.4.1 U function, that would delete the words in the second line, strategy, tactics, or. Great.
Thank you. Does anybody want to second that motion?
I'll second it.
Okay. So we will vote on the motion of policy 1202 with the amendment of 1204.1. The mute function, deleting the word strategy, tactics, strategy and tactics?
Strategy, tactics, or.
Strategy, tactics, or. All in favor, please raise your hand or say aye. Aye, unanimously passed. All right. So wonderful. Okay. All right. So then we have that motion. So we are going to pass it back to you guys. Good.
Yep, we'll take it from here.
Okay.
I'll have Allison and Clary work together to get, after I get a chance to get some feedback and be able to bring it back, to put it back on the schedule or on the agenda, so I can give you some updates, see where we're at. So,
cool. So this will just be a living motion that we're living. They're all living policies, but we'll wait to hear back from you on that one. Okay. Wonderful. Anything else? All right. Well then. Thank you, Sergeant Jordan, for your work on that and combining 2 into 1, which makes me think of that Spice Girl song. 2 from 1. That was a bad joke, but I'm glad I'm a little smart of it. Okay, so closing comments for our May EPD meeting. I'm gonna go backwards. So, Councilor EUGENE, any closing comments?
I do not